The galactic academia was abuzz with anticipation. The lecture hall, shaped like a vast amphitheater, hummed with soft energy fields as alien students of diverse forms and intellects settled into their positions. All eyes, whether on stalks, multifaceted, or glowing orbs, were fixed on the central platform. Standing there was Professor Calix, a renowned scholar known for his deep knowledge of Deathworlds and their peculiar inhabitants. Today, we begin our study of Earth, the professor began, his voice resonating across the room. A murmur swept through the audience. Earth. The word alone was enough to spark intrigue, apprehension, and for some, outright skepticism. The professor continued. In the Galactic Index, Earth holds the classification of a death world, a planet where the environment itself is deemed hostile to life. Yet, it is not the storms, predators, or geological upheavals that make Earth truly extraordinary. It is the sentient species that emerge there, humans. The students exchanged uncertain glances. Some displayed disbelief. Others leaned in with curiosity. Professor Calix activated a holographic display, projecting Earth's chaotic weather patterns, tectonic shifts, and an array of hostile fauna. You may think of your own worlds as challenging, but none compare to the relentless adversity Earth offers daily. Hurricanes obliterate coastlines, volcanoes scar the land, and predators roam freely. And yet life thrives. A slender, crystalline student spoke, her voice crystalline and sharp. Professor, surely such a world breeds only aggression and instability? How can a sentient species survive, let alone evolve in such chaos? An excellent question, the professor replied, the holograph shifting to display a timeline of human evolution. Humans, as you will see, are not just survivors. They are adapters. Their history is a study in perseverance against insurmountable odds. And your assignment is to understand why. The assignment was met with mixed reactions. A student with a gelatinous form quivered in what could be interpreted as excitement. Are we to interact with these humans directly? He asked. The professor shook his head. No, direct interaction is forbidden. Your research will rely on galactic archives, simulation chambers, and virtual immersion into Earth's history. You will analyze their evolutionary milestones, behavioral patterns, and societal structures. But be warned, what you learn may challenge your preconceptions. The holograph now displayed humans confronting ancient predators, battling ice ages, and wielding fire. Humans emerged from a precarious lineage of primates, forced to innovate simply to survive. Fire, tools, and language were not luxuries, they were necessities. Another student, a sleek, scaled being, raised a clawed appendage. But if their environment is so hostile, wouldn't evolution favor physical strength and durability over intelligence? Ordinarily, yes, the professor acknowledged. But Earth is no ordinary planet. The diversity and unpredictability of its challenges demanded more than brute strength. It required creativity, cooperation, and adaptability. Humans, fragile as they appear, learn to reshape their surroundings instead of being shaped by them. The professor's tone grew more intense, drawing the students' full attention. Consider this. In the galactic community, our species evolved on stable planets with predictable climates and minimal threats. Earth is the antithesis of stability. Its orbit, geology, and ecosystems are in constant flux. Every species there is locked in an unending struggle for survival. Yet humans not only survived, they thrived. The crystalline student raised her hand again, her shards glittering with curiosity. Professor, is it true that humans actively alter their environment instead of adapting to it? It is true, he confirmed, his holograph shifting to display early agriculture, cities, and technological revolutions. While most species adapt passively over millennia, humans actively engineer their surroundings, often at great cost. This tendency, born from desperation, allowed them to dominate their planet but also exacerbated its dangers. Earth's most significant threat is no longer its volcanoes or storms, it is humanity itself. A low murmur filled the room. The gelatinous student bubbled nervously. How can they survive themselves if they are their greatest threat? The professor's expression was enigmatic. That, my students, is a question you must answer. Humanity's dual nature, the capacity for both destruction and unparalleled ingenuity, is what makes them a species worth studying. As the lecture drew to a close, the professor addressed the class with a note of solemnity. The assignment is not merely academic. By understanding Earth and its inhabitants, you may also uncover truths about resilience, innovation, and the fragility of life. But be cautious. Humanity has a way of defying expectations. The holograph faded, leaving the students with their thoughts. Earth, the infamous Deathworld, awaited their scrutiny. And with it, the enigmatic species that called it home. The students immersed themselves in the vast archives of galactic data on Earth, delving into the planet's complexities with a mix of trepidation and curiosity. What struck them first was the sheer unpredictability of Earth's environment. Unlike their own carefully balanced ecosystems, Earth seemed to operate on chaos. Hurricanes capable of erasing entire regions, earthquakes that split the ground beneath civilizations, and predators evolved to be relentless killers. The catalog of dangers seemed endless, and yet it was not the planet's ferocity that captured their focus. It was humanity's response. Human evolution unfolded as a narrative of perpetual adaptation. The early hominins were fragile compared to the predators that surrounded them. They lacked speed, natural weaponry, or protective coverings. Yet they possessed a trait rare in the galaxy, ingenuity born from necessity. The first tools, simple but effective, were a turning point. With a sharpened stone or a branch modified for hunting, they began to level the playing field. Fire followed, transforming not only their ability to survive but to thrive. The students noted how this discovery reshaped humanity's trajectory, providing warmth, protection, and a means to cook food, unlocking greater nutrition for their brains to develop. The archives detailed humanity's spread across the planet. Unlike most sentient species, humans did not remain confined to a singular, hospitable biome. Instead, they ventured into deserts, tundras, jungles, and mountains, adapting to each with remarkable speed. Their ingenuity extended beyond survival tools. They developed shelters to endure the freezing cold, irrigation systems to tame arid lands, and navigational techniques to cross vast oceans. It became clear that the species thrived not because their environment was forgiving, but because they refused to accept its constraints. The students' next focus was on the timeline of human conflict. Wars, a constant in human history, initially painted a grim picture. From tribal skirmishes to world-spanning conflicts, humanity's capacity for violence seemed to surpass that of any other sentient race. The students recoiled at the sheer scale of destruction and loss described in the records. Yet, as they analyzed further, they began to see an unexpected pattern. War, for all its brutality, became a crucible for innovation. They discovered how ancient wars spurred advancements in metallurgy, tactics, and communication. In more modern eras, the need to outpace an adversary accelerated developments in medicine, engineering, and even space exploration. What astonished them most was humanity's tendency to find purpose in rebuilding. Entire cities obliterated by conflict were reconstructed, often stronger and more advanced than before. Societies shattered by war found ways to unite, forging alliances that seemed impossible in the aftermath of such destruction. The archives presented numerous examples of this resilience, leaving the students to ponder whether their own species would recover so swiftly and effectively under similar circumstances. Disease, another persistent threat on Earth, revealed even more about human tenacity. Pandemics swept through the species repeatedly, claiming millions of lives. Yet humans did not succumb to despair. Instead, they learned. They developed medicines, vaccines, and sanitation practices that not only mitigated the impact of future outbreaks but often eradicated them entirely. The records of scientific breakthroughs, achieved despite the toll of suffering, left the students awestruck. As they delved deeper into human behavior, a surprising dimension emerged: cooperation. Despite their history of conflict, humans exhibited an extraordinary capacity for empathy and collaboration. The students studied events where entire communities united to survive disasters, from volcanic eruptions to tsunamis. They noted how humans shared resources, developed systems of governance, and even created institutions dedicated to aiding those in need. This duality, a species capable of immense violence yet also profound compassion, was unlike anything the students had encountered. Perhaps the most perplexing aspect of humanity was their relationship with risk. Where other species avoided danger whenever possible, humans seemed drawn to it. Records showed how they willingly scaled treacherous mountains, dived into the depths of the ocean, and launched themselves into space, often with no guarantee of survival. It was not recklessness, as the students initially assumed, but an insatiable curiosity and drive to push boundaries. Even in the face of catastrophic failures, humanity's response was rarely retreat. Instead, they analyzed, adapted, and tried again. The archives provided countless examples of this persistence. When early space missions ended in disaster, humanity did not abandon the stars. They improved their technology, refined their methods, and eventually became a space-faring species. Their exploration of the unknown was not limited to physical ventures. The students marveled at how humans delved into science, philosophy, and art, often risking their lives to uncover truths or create works that might inspire others. It was a determination that seemed almost illogical, yet undeniably effective. Toward the end of their research, the students began to see Earth not as a death world in the traditional sense but as a proving ground. It was a place that tested its inhabitants relentlessly, rewarding only those capable of evolving with creativity and resilience. Humans, fragile and flawed, had succeeded not because they avoided the planet's dangers but because they faced them head-on. This realization challenged the students' initial assumptions about strength and survival. It was not physical dominance that ensured humanity's success but their ability to adapt, innovate, and persevere. The final records examined were those of human culture. Music, literature, and art provided insights into how the species processed their experiences. They created stories that celebrated triumph and mourned loss, songs that united communities, and artworks that captured the beauty of a chaotic world. These creations, the students realized, were as vital to humanity's survival as their tools and technologies. They served as a means to inspire, to remember, and to hope, even in the face of overwhelming odds. As their research concluded, the students were left with more questions than answers. They had come expecting to study a violent, unpredictable species on a perilous planet. What they found instead was a narrative of resilience and complexity, a species defined as much by its flaws as by its virtues. The students reconvened, their perspectives on humanity transformed by their research. Each presented their findings, revealing a mosaic of impressions about Earth and its inhabitants. There was an undeniable tension in their discussions. Some highlighted humanity's aggressiveness, describing it as a species capable of immense destruction, fueled by ambition and conflict. They cited the countless wars, environmental exploitation, and unchecked technological growth as evidence of a dangerous unpredictability. Others, however, focused on humanity's resilience and ingenuity, emphasizing their ability to innovate under pressure, unite in adversity, and create beauty from chaos. The dichotomy was unavoidable. Humans were both their own greatest threat and their own greatest asset. The professor listened, allowing the debates to unfold. The crystalline student argued that humans, while fascinating, were inherently volatile. Their survival is impressive, but their history shows a pattern of self-inflicted suffering. They conquer their challenges only to create new ones. Another student countered, pointing out humanity's capacity for learning and self-correction. While they have caused harm, they also exhibit an unmatched drive to repair and improve. Their technological advancements and cultural achievements cannot be dismissed. The discussion deepened as they explored the implications of humanity's adaptability. Earth's ecosystem demanded constant evolution. The students realized that while most species adapted slowly over millennia, humans had accelerated their evolution through innovation. They modified their environments, reshaped ecosystems, and even altered their own biology with medicine and technology. This rapid adaptation, though risky, allowed them to thrive where other species would have perished. One student brought up humanity's ability to collaborate, a trait they found both perplexing and inspiring. Despite their individualistic tendencies, humans formed intricate social structures, from small tribes to global coalitions. These networks enabled them to pool resources, share knowledge, and tackle challenges collectively. Even their conflicts often led to greater unity afterward, as societies rebuilt and redefined themselves. This balance between individual ambition and collective effort was rare in the galaxy and a key factor in their survival. The topic shifted to Earth itself, and the students began to see the planet in a new light. It was no longer just a hostile environment, but a crucible that forged humanity's unique characteristics. Every earthquake, predator, and storm had shaped them, teaching resilience and resourcefulness. Earth was a death world, yes, but its dangers were also its gifts. The students debated whether their own species, raised in stable and predictable worlds, could have thrived under similar conditions. The consensus was that Earth's challenges were unparalleled, demanding a level of adaptability that most species could not match. The professor interjected, asking a question that silenced the room. "Do you believe humanity's strengths outweigh its flaws?" The responses were mixed. Some students argued that humanity's capacity for destruction was too great a risk. Others believed that their ability to overcome adversity made them invaluable. One student hesitated before offering a different perspective. "Perhaps their flaws are necessary. Without their challenges, they would not have become what they are. Their flaws drive them to improve, to adapt, and to survive." The class fell into a thoughtful silence. The professor then revealed a startling truth. Earth, he explained, had long been monitored by the galactic community. While humans were considered volatile, they were also deeply respected. Their achievements, from space exploration to the development of complex social systems, were recognized as unparalleled for a death world species. However, this respect was tempered by caution. Humanity's dual nature, a capacity for both destruction and growth, made them unpredictable and, therefore, potentially dangerous. The students were surprised to learn that the galactic community had debated whether to make contact with humanity. While their technological capabilities were still developing, their potential was undeniable. The record showed humanity's ability to recover from catastrophic failures, to innovate in the face of scarcity, and to unite when survival demanded it. The decision to observe rather than intervene was rooted in a deep uncertainty. Would humanity's future be defined by its creativity or its destructiveness? The answer was still unknown. As the discussion concluded, the students reflected on what they had learned. Humanity was not a species that could be easily categorized. They were not purely destructive or purely virtuous. They were a paradox, embodying extremes of both potential and peril. The students realized that understanding humanity required more than studying their history or biology. It required an appreciation for their complexity and their contradictions. The professor's closing words resonated deeply. Earth is not merely a death world. It is a world of transformation. Its dangers forge resilience, and its challenges inspire ingenuity. Humanity is a reflection of its planet, a species defined not by stability but by its ability to thrive in chaos. They are imperfect, yes, but it is their imperfections that make them extraordinary. The students left the lecture hall with a new perspective, not only on humanity but on their own species. They had been raised in comfort, shielded from the adversities that defined Earth. Studying humanity had shown them the value of struggle and the strength found in imperfection. It was a lesson they would not forget, one that challenged their understanding of survival, growth, and the nature of life itself.